Hi, it's Kristen from the Polar Bear Room, and this is going to be my second video for parents or caregivers on how they can support language through storytelling. And this one's going to be a little bit different because this is going to be some ideas on how you can support language and tell a story to the preschooler in your house, even if you're not comfortable reading English. The story is Daisy and the Egg, and I'm going to use something from a company called Story Champs, which basically breaks down any story into 6 parts: the character, the setting, the problem, feelings, the action, which is usually what's done about the problem, and then the ending. And most stories follow that particular sequence, and I think if you're not comfortable reading the words, and you keep this format in mind, you'll be really successful in telling a pretty good story to your preschooler. If you go to my Small Talk website, you will see a page that looks like this, where I have gone ahead and translated character, setting, problem, feeling, action, and ending, those components of telling a good story, into, I think, 11 or 12 different languages. Primarily languages that we have a lot of children use at home from our school. So you can always go to that link, and that way if you have somebody in your home, maybe an older relative who doesn't read English, they can still go to their home language and scan across to see, oh, these are the components of a good story that I can use when I'm telling a story or reading a story. So the first suggestion is that you go through the story ahead of time so that you sort of look at the pictures and get an idea in your head of how are you going to tell the story. So Daisy and the Egg, I would start out as, this is a story about a little duck who lives in a pond and a big egg. And again, when you're reading to your little one, it's great to sort of read this way and snuggle and cuddle and have some nice bonding time, but because this is more of a learning video, I'm going to have the book face you. So I would talk about the character, right? So the characters are going to be this little duck and the mommy duck. So, it would be once upon a time, there was a little duck, I'll just name her Quacker. There was a little duck named Quacker, and she lived with the mommy ducks in the beautiful blue pond with the tall green grass. It was springtime in the pond, and the mommy ducks were laying eggs. So now I've talked about the characters, and I've talked about the setting. Quacky loved to help her mommy with the eggs. She tried to sit on it, but she was just too small. Quacky also loved to help her mommy and the other mommy ducks by bringing food to them. Quacky would listen closely to see if she could hear anything going on inside the egg. She was so excited she just couldn't wait to see what would hatch. Quacky and her mama went to visit another mama duck one day. They were bringing food, and all of a sudden the other mama duck jumped up and started flapping her wings. She was very excited about something, but they didn't know what. As they swam closer, they saw that one of the eggs was starting to hatch. This was such an exciting day. Oh, I wonder what will be inside, thought Quacky. Just then, a new duckling hatched out of the egg. Quacky thought he looked a little funny and a little small. Just then, more eggs hatched and more ducklings were born. This was a very exciting day in the pond. Thought Quacky. I wonder when my egg will hatch. Everybody waited and waited and waited. When would this egg hatch? So now we've entered the problem part, right? Something's wrong. This egg's not hatching. Quacky stayed close to that egg. She wanted to be there when it started to hatch. She was beginning to get a little bit worried. What if the egg didn't hatch? So now I'm talking about the feelings that are associated with the problem. Quacky decided to make the nest extra comfortable for the little egg. That night, Quacky stayed with the egg and hoped that it would hatch by morning. It was cold and it was dark, and Quacky felt a little scared. Just then her mama came over, and she snuggled with Quacky as they waited for the egg to hatch. Just then, Quacky woke up. She thought she heard something. I wonder what she heard. "Oh, look," said Quacky to her mother. "The egg did hatch." And out came a new little duckling. Quacky and all the other mama ducks and all their new babies stayed up to watch the sunrise on the beautiful blue pond with the tall green grass. So that was the action. The egg finally did hatch, and then the ending. The end. So again, this is just a simple format to follow. If you want to sit and read stories to your child, but you're not very comfortable reading stories in English, and like I had said earlier, if you go to the Small Talk website and go to the Storytime page, you can find a link that will bring you to these storytelling elements in several different languages. So that's it. I hope that helps.